because then they went into the public schools and took discipline out of there. So when we acted up in there, they put our boys, our black men, into something called special ed classes. And as you know, those special ed classes are nothing but holding cells until they can go to the state prison. But this is what they did. And then, the one thing that they knew, that if we can put them in prison, if we can have them convicted for a felony, then once they get out of prison, they cannot get a job because of that. They cannot get the job. And then if they happen to eke out and find a job, then they have to pay taxes on a job, yet they cannot vote, and I call that taxation without representation. That's what we're looking at. And if one of the things that we would learn to do, they did a grand thing when they took that discipline away from us, because when they made our parents afraid to discipline the children, then what happened? We found out that the teachers were afraid of the principals were scared of the superintendent was scared of the school board was scared of the parents were scared of the children, and the children ain't scared of nobody.
Hello, and happy Monday to you once again. It's the cast of Black versus the Board of Education. My name is Miss Laureen. I'm the captain of the ship, but I cannot do it without my co-host. So, just so you know who's in the building, and we're going to address that video momentarily, but just so you know who's in the building, let me go ahead and pass it to my co-host right now so they can introduce themselves to some of those who are new, and for those who are returning, welcome back. So, Melissa, go ahead, kick us off, love.
Hi guys, my name is Melissa, and I'm a 14-year-old incoming sophomore.
Incoming sophomore, that's what I'm talking about. And our outgoing sophomore, Miss Adia, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hey y'all, my name's Adia, and I'm an incoming junior in the Sacramento area.
Perfect. Miss Janice, you're up.
Hi everybody, I'm an incoming sophomore in the Sacramento region.
Perfect. And Miss Anaya, go ahead and represent.
Hi everyone, my name is Anaya, and I'm also an incoming junior.
And so the veteran of the group, I'm gonna call you. I'm not gonna go ahead and introduce yourself, Lex, and tell us what's up with you.
Hi everyone, my name is Lex. I am an incoming freshman in college.
Incoming freshman in college. We got through graduation and it's all good. So welcome back, ladies. I hope that we have a great discussion today. So let me just kick it off, because we saw that clip at the top of the hour, and she was talking about when the states or the government, whoever, made the decision to take discipline away from parents, and then subsequently made the decision to take it out of schools. And we were talking in the back, and I was saying, we have a problem now because most districts nationwide are disproportionate in the way they discipline students. So they didn't think the parents knew how to do it. They thought they knew better, and they're failing miserably. So what do you guys think about what Dr. Julia Hare, rest in peace to her, what do you guys think about what she said? And I'm going to go ahead and pass it to Anaya, because you were nodding and I saw you first. So what do you think about what she was saying?
I think it was my first time hearing that the schools took discipline out of the parents' households and they were trying to discipline the students at school. I don't think I've ever heard about that, so I thought that was really weird, but I agreed with what she said.
Janice?
I definitely agree with what she said too, because it couldn't have been more accurate. Like, especially with how she placed everywhere. Like, it's really true. Like, if you think about it, that's how things are formatted. When we think about the school, we see our school right now, we see our school districts. Look, for an example, you see EGUSD. At first, we wasn't going back. And then, all the parents started getting together, all that other stuff. Oopsie daisy, one thing led to another. Now all the kids is back in school.
Mm-hmm. And so how does that, in terms of the discipline numbers, what you've learned over this course where we've been talking, what are you looking forward to going back to school or?
Personally, I'm excited because of the fact that I know more than I knew then. So it's just like my freshman year, I was basically my freshman year because it was all distance learning. I was racking up on this knowledge. So now that I'm getting ready to go into my sophomore year and I'm more outspoken, I'm ready to give these teachers what they deserve to hear. And I already talked to my principals. Like, I'm very in connection with all of the staff at my school. So it's more so like, okay, so if you're not going to advocate for this child and you're not going to say anything about it, I guess I might have to. And yeah, I'm excited.
Good. Melissa, what do you think? Are you excited to go back to school, knowing what you know now and in the time that we've been able to connect? What are you thinking?
I don't know if I want to go back in person, but if I do, I feel like I would be excited because of all of this new knowledge that I have. Like Janice said, being able to tell the teachers what I need as a Black student, to be able to talk to administration and tell them what I feel needs to change to be able to get my voice heard as a student. I am definitely excited about that.
Perfect. Lex, now you're not going back, to a one of these high schools. You're headed into your freshman year in college. So in the time that we've been spending together, what do you think you're most looking forward to?
For me, I've been thinking about this for a little while, but the college I'm going to lacks diversity. So going in there, I think I'm most excited about being a voice and being an advocate for people who wouldn't have people like me. Since, like Janice and Melissa have been saying, I've been racking up all this information. I now know how to present myself, and not only how to present myself, but how to do it effectively. And how to do it efficiently. So then when I go out onto this campus and I see something, even if it's not directly at me, I can step in and I can kind of be that voice for other people. Because especially in college, I feel like people are kind of like, okay, I'm going to keep my head down and just get through this so I can get in and out really quickly. But I want to enjoy my college experience, and I want to be the voice that I couldn't be in high school. Like, I look up to all of you guys because I wish I was doing that. I wish I had this podcast during high school, but now I can do that in college. So I'm kind of really looking forward to being able to be that voice on campus.
Oh, look at you trying to come out your shell. I hear you. Didi, so we're talking about whether or not you're excited for the year to come based on what you've been able to, glean from our conversations weekly. Are you looking forward to going back into the school environment, and if so, why?
Yeah, I think I'm definitely excited. I'm really have a lot of stuff that I want to do, to make my school and my district a better place. And I really just want to work on creating safe spaces and safe spaces and educating Black students and stuff like that, which is kind of what we do here. So yeah, I think it's beautiful, and I'm so grateful to be on this and have this experience.
So now when you guys talk about you're excited, and I love to hear that you guys are excited and you kind of found a renewed kind of energy to go in and change stuff. So what would you say is the very first thing that you're looking to have an impact on? Janice?
I'm looking, okay, excuse me. I'm looking to have an impact on classroom environments because I feel like that's where everything goes down. That's where teachers feel that they can talk to us however they want to talk to us. That's where teachers feel like, oh, well, this is not a safe space. I can't yell at you through the computer because your mom might be right there. But now we in person and mom's isn't around. So it's more so teachers think it's safe. So I'm kind of looking forward to being able to say okay, yeah, you're not supposed to be talking to me like that. Allowing myself to communicate and communicate efficiently, because out of all the things that I have learned from BYLP, communication is number one, because I didn't really know how to effectively and efficiently communicate until now. Now I can hold a full conversation with an adult about all that we talk about on this podcast and have them sit there, and instead of being offended, they're so in shock that I know how to communicate with them so proficiently. They're just sitting there like, oh.
So you think that they're shocked? I mean, my goodness.
They be like, and they're just sitting there like trying to register, and then I talk fast, so it's just like I'm running little circles around their head. I'm just doing this, and they're just like, ooh.
Anaya, what are you most looking forward into impacting on your school campuses when you return in the fall?
So when I return in the fall, I'm looking forward to being in Black Student Union, and I want to recruit more Black students and teach them mostly about the school system and how to, like, play the game and everything, and how to get through it efficiently, and not to let these teachers just like walk over them, and to give them that like knowledge and let people know, like, let the Black students know, like, you have a voice, you can make a change for yourself and for other people.
Oh, good. Melissa, what do you think? What are you most looking forward to?
I am looking forward to talking to administration about including more Black history into the curriculum, and also starting a Black Student Union, which is something I've talked to my teachers and administration about already. So, something like that to get more representation into my school.
I love it. Dee Dee, what about you? Because you said you wanted to do something. I don't know if you went into detail. So, but tell us about your plans. What are you looking forward to most?
Yeah, to piggyback off Melissa, just real quick, like, props to you starting that BSU. Like, my BSU, I know in my school, like, that's like my safe space. Like, I love BSU. Like, it really be popping. So I just shout out to you. Just want to say that real quick. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff I want to work on. We're working on, my BSU and I, like the core members, are working on implementing a student bill of rights within our district. I want to work on a project, like, in this organization I'm in, trying to, like, funnel more Black students from, like, Natomas Unified into higher level programs, because they usually only give, like, presentations at the higher level schools with only white students, or, like, very few, people of color at the end of the day. So, it's a little problematic. But
but before you move on from that point, can you tell us what you mean when you say higher level courses? What do you mean? You said they only give presentations. What does that mean?
So at my school, we have a program called SICA, which is designed where students can take community college classes, because, like, at our school there's, like, intercom, and then there's, like, the community college is, like, right there, like, where we share a campus. So students can take community college classes and get, like, college credits and stuff like that. And it's, like, designed for, like, first generation college students and, like, students with low income and stuff like that. And then there's IB, which is International Baccalaureate, and that's just kind of like high level classes. It's like honors classes. You'll have some APs in the mix and stuff like that. So yeah, that's kind of what those are.
Okay. But continue if you weren't done. I did not mean to cut you off, but I wanted to make sure that anybody listening, when you make reference to certain statements, that they know exactly what you're talking about. If that's something you want to change, they need to know what it is in order for them to get behind you to change it. So that's why I stopped you. But were you finished with your thought? What else are you looking forward to?
And yeah, I'm just looking for, like, I really want to, like, and I was saying, like, recruiting more students for my BSU, and, like, just creating, like, safe spaces for Black students at the end of the day, because I don't think we have enough of those on campus just for exclusively Black students. So yeah, that's what I'm excited for, and hopefully more to come. So yeah.
Yeah. And so what I want you all to really keep in mind is that is your safe place on campus. However, you have a safe place outside of campus with BYLP. So make sure that your friends are even signing up with us so that we can also track their trajectory. Because there's one thing that people are understanding that we don't play about, and that's our students. And so we need you all to draw in your friends so that we're not waiting for the district's permission to serve Black children. We're not doing that. And for whatever reason, your schools, even within district, have been kept largely segregated, and you all don't get to really meet each other, don't get to know each other. There is no connecting you outside of your campus. So I just wanted to put that out there to make sure you understand that we are here to serve you on the outside as you all do the work on the inside, because you still need people to come in and bulldoze when it's necessary. So Lex, you thinking about starting anything on your new campus as you're getting ready to take on Columbia Community College? And are you moving there? Are you moving to?
Yes, I will be moving in August.
Are you excited about that? Are you anxious?
Yes, I'm excited. I'm a little anxious. One of the things was like really just the diversity, but I had to get past that because it's a good opportunity for me. So of course, I'm really excited to see what opportunities I can have to put things in place on that campus to hopefully make it more diverse in the future and just make the small little bit of diversity on the campus feel more comfortable, because that's always something I want to do. I think one of the things I'm excited for also is trying to go in and change teachers and staff's attitude, because that's a big thing for me. If you can just walk into class and tell that they're already not really feeling you, I'm really the type of person to go, I kind of sense you don't like me, but I'm going to make you like me anyways. I don't care. I'm going to do what I do so you can like me. I could care less how you feel about me now, but I'm going to change it. I'm going to change your attitude. So that's something that I think I'm pretty good at, and I want to kind of go in and change how they view Black students, or if the things that they're doing, they're kind of doing subconsciously to Black students, because I feel like that does happen in a lot of cases. And so I do just want to bring that to light and hopefully change their perspective on Black students in general.
Gotcha. And so, this past week, the team over here at BYLP, we've been kind of engaged in talks with one school district in particular. And what we've noticed really is the way in which folks want us to ask permission to serve on the level that we're serving. Folks want to kind of put together a framework that says, well, you can only serve this type of student at this time if we invest in the programming, right? And so I think that, after hearing all the public comments that were in support of BYLP, shout out to all the community members. I think we got specifically 32 comments just on our proposal alone. And I know, Adia, your comment was in there, and Anaya, I think your comment made it in there as well. It's important that as you get ready to go back onto your campuses, that we're not just settling for business as usual. Business as usual did not work for us. It wasn't working prior to the pandemic. It was exacerbated because of the pandemic. So as you get ready to go back on campuses, I want you to remain vigilant and alert, because everybody has not had the outlets that you've had over the summer, or over, not the summer, the springtime. A lot of you have been with us since last year, but as you're walking around, make sure you're checking on your peers too. There's a lot of things going on around us, and I wanted to kind of get y'all's opinion on. I know the sentencing happened on Friday, so I mean, what are y'all feeling about that? I've seen some of your social media posts. Lex done gave them a thumbs down. But I've seen some of your social media posts. You guys don't seem to think that justice was served. So let me start with you, Lex. What do you think about the sentencing that occurred on Friday related to George Floyd and former officer Derek Chauvin? What do you think?
No, I didn't watch it. I got the numbers off of social media. And when I saw it, I was confused, because I was like, is that it? Is that all they're going to do? Like, I feel it's like a chunk was missing, like a really big chunk or something. Like, I just feel like they could have done more. I feel like he was given the least amount possible without there being another uproar or uprising. And I felt that there's lots of Black men and women in jail for lesser crimes for longer times.
Melissa,
and it doesn't make any sense.
Does it ever? Melissa, you shaking your head.
I'm agreeing with what Lex said. There's people who look like us who are in jail for like she said, lesser crimes for a longer amount of time. You took someone's life and you're getting 22.5 years.
I mean, and time served, and really, with good behavior, he could be out in 15. But who's counting?
And that it's frustrating, because how are you going to take someone's life and you're going to be in jail for a shorter amount of time than like a marijuana crime, right? It makes me really mad,
Well, it's kind of like, there was the sentencing disparity between crack cocaine and powder cocaine, right? A lot of, folks who look like us were really, the book was thrown at them because of crack cocaine. But the other folks, the non-melanated folks who could afford that powder, they got less time, if they were ever convicted. Didi, did you happen to watch, or you got your stuff off social media too?
Yeah, I got my stuff off social media. To be honest, like, I never watched their BS. Like, I think it's just gonna make me madder than I am. Like, just give me the fact sheet and I'll deal with it. But yeah, I thought the sentencing was just like, I'm not even pro prison industrial complex. You feel me? But it's like, there's people in there for the war on drugs. Because of the war on drugs, in there for weed. Are you serious? And like, they have way, like how Melissa was saying, they have way higher sentences. Like, there was like a black child in the 1940s who got executed on the electric chair, and we're gonna give, and what did he even do?
George Stinney. I thought it was before.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then you're gonna have someone kill somebody, and then get 22 years. Like, there's people in like higher stuff for like stealing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I think it's just really annoying, but I just don't think, like, I don't know if we can even count on this. Like, we can't count on this system to serve us, because it wasn't meant to serve us at the end of the day. You know what I mean? Like, even try to use the law against him, it's still not really serving us. You know what I mean? And I think, to answer your question before, like, I don't think it was justice at all. I don't even think it was accountability. I don't think we can get justice because he's not here, but I don't even think it was accountability because it's not even that big of a sentence. So yeah, that's how I feel.
Anaya?
Okay, so I heard about it on social media, and it's just like, I was like, oh, 22.5 years. That's not a long time. That's really not a long time. I think about most of the posts I was seeing was how people were in jail for drug charges, and then they get more time, but this guy intentionally murdered somebody. He knew what he was doing.
I mean, but did he murder somebody? I mean, at least his defense was trying to make you think that something was wrong with you because you saw him do something on camera, and they're like, I mean, but he had a heart attack, but your knee is on his neck. Like, really? That's what you think? And then, and then I saw his whole stupid mama get up.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
I mean, Janice, do you know what I'm talking about? His mama got up.
I don't feed into it because the views just give them the profits to pocket. But I seen people repost it. I seen Melissa's Instagram story, and I was looking at, I was reading. I'm like, wait, hold up, because honestly, I thought what's the name, Derek Chauvin. I thought he was long gone. I thought they handled him, but from what I could tell, they did not handle him at all. And they'll give a black man life on the spot, but then here comes this white officer who murders someone on camera, and they're just like, oh my gosh, 22 years of life, 22 years. People live to be 100 years old. 22 years is not a long time at all. This man will probably be home before he's 75, especially because he's white. Like, it's just ridiculous to me.
Ain't he 40? How old is he now? Ain't he 40,
50, 60? He'll be like 60 something. Like, he'll be home before he's 70. He'll still have a chance to see his grandkids, his great grandkids. But here, George Floyd, he doesn't have a chance to see anybody because he's not here anymore. But, they don't talk about that. It's just, they think it was justice. And then there's the people who settle for less. Oh, that's the bare minimum, because you see our black men, you see the sentences that they get. And then you're talking about justice was served. This is a good thing. This is a step toward making a change in history. No, it's not. This is the same thing. And this is history repeating itself. It's ridiculous. And it's very sickening because y'all people just take anything at you. Like, it's just like, ugh. It disgusts me. Like, no.
Okay, so but I'm still stuck on his mama. Said he was a good man. She said that if you sentence him, you'll be sentencing me. She never acknowledged the wrong that her child did. And there's some parents out there that don't see their kids doing wrong, and won't check them. And that's how we send them to school, and they become little hellions on campus because you won't check your children. And then you get up in court. I mean, it's on video. You saw what your child did. You didn't say, I apologize to the family. I didn't raise my little bastard ass kid like this. Excuse my language. But listen, let me tell y'all something. Because when we do things like this, and we allow them to get up there, like they should have cut her mic. They should have cut her mic, because that did not do anything positive for anybody. I know she was trying to help her kid. That did not help her kid. That made her look loony. That made her look uncaring. And you know what? I like to say it, attitude reflects leadership. Your parenting sometimes reflects your skill level, because that was some crazy stuff. And then we turn around and we're like, oh, just bring the kids to heal. There's teachers like that on your campuses, just like his mama, who looks at the kids that look like them, and they have all the grace in the world for them. But then it's other kids that look like us, and they're problematic. They need to be sent out. They don't need to deal with them. You know what I mean? And so I'm having a hard time. I was watching that, and I'm just like, are we living in the Twilight Zone? And y'all probably don't know that reference, but basically, are these people crazy? And I'm starting to think they're crazy. Because how is it that a public servant that receives taxpayer dollars to provide a service, protect and serve allegedly, can get a bare minimum sentence like that, when he really used the power of his office to inflict harm? How did we allow this? What do you guys think? How do we allow it? How do we continue to allow it?
I feel like this is something that is going to continue to occur until like they start feeling the pain that they have inflicted on us for generations. Like, being completely honest, I don't think that, the protesting and the riots, like, okay, yeah, that's good. But then it's like, that's not enough, because at the end of the day, they're going to try and throw us an inch, and we're going to take the inch and not try and go for a mile. And then they're just going to be like, oh, well, they're quiet now. So, they're good, Oh, we're going to give them this, they won't riot no more. They're good. So it's just like, nothing's going to change until they feel the pain they've inflicted on us. They're not going to see wrong until they feel the pain of their children going to prison for life over something smaller than what Derek Chauvin did. They're not going to feel the pain until they see one of their children get murdered on camera. They're not going to feel the pain until they see one of their students be, harassed by teachers, harassed by people on campus, harassed by police officers. They're not going to understand until they actually know, because it's unfortunate that people in our society, they don't feel things until it really hits them personally. They don't see it as a problem until it's a personal problem of theirs. So I think they got to feel our pain in order for them to want to change it.
Do you think pain is necessary, Adia? Is pain necessary? Is that what it's going to take?
Honestly, I've really been thinking about a lot of this stuff lately, actually, though, now that we're talking about it. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna get there with the whole consciousness like stuff, like how like I forget who it was, but like there was like this instant where like MLK tried to do like he's basically like, oh, we're gonna march there, and then we're just gonna have the police officers beat us, and we're gonna film it, and then these people, like, they're gonna see how bad it is, and they're not gonna want to hurt us anymore, blah blah blah. And then nothing happened. People saw the video. If you see about Emmett Till, his mother left the casket open, so maybe people will see how like devilish and demonic the stuff that they're doing to Black people is, and the white people didn't care. So I like to piggyback off of Janice. I don't think we're gonna get there being like, look how much we hurt, like, please help us. I don't think they like it this way at the end of the day. But yeah, I don't know. I think for real change to need to happen, I think it's gonna need to be a worldwide revolution. I think You know what I mean? Like, I think it's gonna take some real stuff for all of this to change. You know, maybe we'll get little stuff and like, you know, stuff like that. But I think it's not gonna be, you know, like, let's get, you know, like Janice was saying, like a fourth of an inch every single time. Like, I don't think we're gonna get there that way for hundreds of thousands of years. So yeah, I don't know. I always go back and forth of like, can we get more peace with more violence? But at the end of the day, like, nobody is listening. At this point, it's self-defense. It's not even violence. So yeah, I don't know, honestly.
Yeah. And Lex, I saw you on mute, so I'm gonna kick it to you. What you think?
I agree with Janice. I really think, because I've been thinking about it, I think I've said it in a podcast episode, you know, nothing's going to change until someone does something. And I feel like if we want real change in real time, that someone is going to have to start getting hurt. Like, these people are going to have to start feeling the pain we're feeling. Because especially in today's day and age, people are desensitized to the fact they see another Black person getting killed and they're like, oh, it's another one. And then they go along with their day. Like, things aren't changing. People, it's a normal now to see Black people getting killed, to see Black people being hurt, and to see Black people at the bottom. So they're just like, oh, I guess that's just how we're going to go around life. And what we're trying to be is like, no, but, you know, they're not going to do anything about it until they start getting that end of the stick. You know, they're not going to try and reach higher than they already are unless where they are at is not sufficient for them. Like we are now, it's not sufficient for us to be where we are, and we're trying to go up, but everyone's already kicking us down. So if it's finally a point to where they have to start going up because they're at the bottom, nothing's going to change, because they're like, we're already at the top, we're not going to do anything, it's not affecting us. So something definitely, they have to start getting something, you know, they need to taste their own medicine at this point, because it's not working right now.
Yeah, and I think you guys are right, because I'm trying to figure out, and just going back to that that video at the top of the hour, she was talking about them removing discipline, and she talked about segregation before she went into her commentary. And so as I'm looking at that, and I'm trying to understand, because a lot of times, you know, people want to talk about Black students, and Black students have been at the bottom of every statistical category except discipline for a very, very long time. Now, if that were parents being so neglectful, CPS would have removed a lot of children from their homes. The school system, it seems, is the only place where you can fail up. You can you can ignore a certain subset of students and nobody cares. Nobody does anything to change it. Nobody expects anything different. There is no evaluation system where you're looking at different criteria. How are things changing if they're not changing? Why are people still getting paid if nothing is changing for all students? Their words are really, really great. But when it comes to the implementation of all these different policies, these people think they're so smart and they're putting into place, they're failures. And Janice, you've talked about it before. If one student is failing, we're all still failing. So if you have a whole category of students failing, what should be their responsibility? Like, at what point do we start to expect more from people? Maybe it's just me. Go ahead, Mama.
And today I was just in because I'm in summer school for PE, just to knock that out the way. And I was talking to my vice principal today, and I was like, "Do you know that EGUSD is number one in, you know, disproportionate disciplinary rates toward Black students?" And he was just looking at me. He was like, "How do you know that? Like, you know that?" I'm like, "Yeah." He was like, "So is it something you think or something you know?" I said, "It's statistics." I said, "They speak for themselves." I said,
"Spend in our future. Give me his email. He'll get a copy of it."
and we were talking about it, and then he was just like, I was like, "It's very unfortunate." And then looking at it, and as I think to hear what you're saying, Miss Lorraine, as we see on these campuses, like, for example, within EGUSD, I've been through going from like funneling from elementary school to now where I'm at in high school before pre-COVID. Like, I see how my peers get treated. Like, I see how we are encountered, how we are talked to, all of those things in comparison to students who do not look like us. And it's just like, what? And it's just like where do y'all expect us to be complacent and be the students y'all want us to be when y'all continue to treat us like that? It's as if y'all are giving us a nail in our foot and y'all want us to give you a pat on the back. Like, it doesn't make any sense at all, simply because of the fact that they think it's okay and they try and dismiss it and dismiss us. And it really blows me, because it's just like, what are you people on? Like, literally, like, I really want to understand what makes y'all think that it is okay to treat all of your Black students this type of way, and then all of your other students, you know, they get spoon fed, literally spoon fed. But when it comes to us, it don't make sense to me.
Well, and I just want to point out something you just said. You said you told him something, and he said, how do you know? Is it something you know, or is it something else? My question is, why doesn't he know? Because as a vice principal, he's responsible for discipline. Why doesn't he know? He knows his school statistics. And this is what I'm telling you. I want you guys to be able to have answers when they ask stupid questions like that. But because you're a child, you're not supposed to know that. And he doesn't have an answer for you. That's why he gaslit that situation. Real quickly, though, I was looking at this book that I ordered. It's called Remember the Journey to School Integration, right? And as I'm looking at it, and you know, like we talked about critical race theory last week, and they have things in here like this is in a book that anybody can go get, but it says High Court bans school segregation 9-0 decision grants time to comply. So they said that they weren't going to have segregation anymore, but then they begin to implement policies that continue to segregate these schools that were non-segregated. Ain't that funny? Always. And then it always bothers me. So you see Ruby Bridges, I think she was the first to integrate that school somewhere, and I'm trying to figure out which finger it is. Okay, this finger. They do these photos in black and white to make you think that it was very long ago. I think she's my mom's age. You know what I mean? You look at this, you think this is so long ago, but it's really not. And then you see these grown looking, because they don't age well, but you see these grown looking people over here yelling at this baby as she's trying to go into school. And, those things, this is why they don't want you to teach critical race theory, because then you have to come to, grips with the way in which they've done things, and they've chosen to do things. And then you have these students who are still just trying to exist, trying to get an education, because, when they did away with segregation, they pretty much decimated the Black teaching class, because then they begin to have Black students go to these white teachers, right? So when we're talking about the consequences of policies, right, the policies people are putting into place and the effect it has on communities, we have to understand this was a plan a long time ago. So as U.S. students, now that you know better, you can kind of force folks to do better, of course, with the help of your parents. Because a lot of the things that we're seeing are just kind of a residual effect of different policies that are put into place that we have to comply by. Well, until we decide to do something different. But for the most part, there are things that we have to comply by. And a lot of times our politics aren't straight. For some reason in our community, we think just because you have a D next to your name, D for Democrat, that you're for Black people. We don't ask for anything. We don't require anything. We just let people do what they do. And then we complain about it when they are not doing the things that we thought good Democrats would do. Politics is an exchange. It's not a gift. I don't owe you my vote. You have to earn it. And when you earn it, then I have to do things to hold you accountable. Same thing in my mind with people who are in charge of systems, be it your school board, be it your superintendent. They work for you and your families because our tax dollars are going into this school system. It ain't a gift for them to treat you like you're a human being. The fact that they're spending millions and millions of dollars to train white teachers how to treat Black children like human beings, that's egregious. And those resources could go in to resource the Black students that they have a problem connecting with and providing services for them. But instead of doing that, they want to gaslight and say Black students don't know what they need. I sat in the meeting last Tuesday. The lady, the head counselor, got up and said, well, we're entering into a partnership with CRC, Consumers River College, for Monterey Trail, Valley High School, and Florin High School. Now, those are the campuses with the most Black children. Understand life. And then she proceeds to say something to the effect, well, it's because Black students aren't really college bound. They're not college track. They're not interested in college. And I almost flipped my lid. Because it's Black gatekeepers like that have the mentality that Black kids don't want to achieve. That frustrates me. And they keep these people in place to continue to regurgitate this nonsense. And because we're not at the school board meeting most of the time, we're not pushing back on that. And it's probably because it's a little different now with the virtual meetings that they have going on. I wish I could have stood up at that moment, and I felt like being in court. I object, you know what I mean? Because it's like, based on what? Like, what Black students are you talking to? Because I know out of the seniors that have come through our program, GOAT and just BGSN, all of the seniors, y'all are going to college. And I'm not talking about just CRC or any other community college. I mean, top-notch colleges like Cornell and UC Santa Cruz,
Spelman.
UC Berkeley, Spelman, Morehouse, Howard. Like, and then I'm reminded of a student over at Laguna High School, which she got into a HBCU and they wouldn't put her on the wall with the other kids that got into college. And they said because it wasn't an A through G school. What does that mean?
Please just say you're anti-Black. Just say it. Just say you're anti-Black and move on with the situation. Like, what is that? That's sorry.
And it became a thing because the parent is like, my kid got into an HBCU. And they're like, it's not an A through G school. And I'm like, since when do we only put up A through G schools? They continue to move the goalposts. like why wouldn't our students and our families be frustrated? Like, I'm just flabbergasted, honestly, because the thoughts that we are allowing people to, the connections we're allowing people to associate with you, are that you don't want anything past this level of school. And I just have not seen that from Black students. I've seen counselors stand in the way and not release transcripts. I've been to the Black College Fair with Dr. Rowe, the You Can Go to College, and a lot of the Black students, their counselors wouldn't give them the transcript so that they can then go around to these HBCUs and apply. I've seen that, but I've rarely, not never, let me not say that. I've rarely seen Black students who don't want more, who don't crave different types of experiences, whether that be at an HBCU or institution of higher learning, or whether they go to a trade school. But we in our community have never had the luxury of just sitting around. And the fact that that was said in a room full of other people, not just in our community, but in a room full of non-Black people, to continue this stereotype that Black students are underachieving and don't want anymore, for themselves. I just thought it was ludicrous. And I'll get off my soapbox, but that really pissed me off. And they do a lot of things to piss me off. And it's probably because I'm paying attention. So I want to see you all, I need you to commit to me that you all will start paying attention at your school board level. And when you hear things that don't sound right, that you're going to push back. Because they're speaking for you. And I know you guys have thoughts and feelings of your own. And I don't want you to sit around while people say who they think you are when you know who you are. How many of you have been on leadership, ASB, or anything besides Mariah? And okay. What are y'all going to do this year? How are you going to step into that leadership role or a leadership role?
I was gonna start up the Black Student Union Club again at my school because they didn't have it during the pandemic, and the lead teacher said that I can be president for that. So that's the main thing that I'm focused on right now.
And who is that? Is that Mr. Keith? Okay, let's make sure that happens.
I want to make my Black Student Union a place where children want to be, because it seems like with my school and where it was my VP and the president of our Black Student Union, because I tried to run for president of our Black Student Union, but it was said that there was already a president. But it was more so the Black Student Union was only around when the trial was in the news. The Black Student Union was only there when the racial injustice was in everyone's faces. But now that things are more so they can say it's cooling off, but I'm still heated. I still feel emotions toward it. I still feel, that infliction of that situation. The Black Student Union isn't there. We haven't been having meetings. I'm treasurer of the BSU, so I don't understand how we haven't been having meetings, and I'm supposed to be there, and I haven't heard about any type of meetings. So I want to make our BSU something that is there, not just when things are going on to make it look good. I don't know who that was for, because obviously it wasn't for us, because it didn't last for that long. And if it was for us, it would have been persistent. It would have been trying to recruit more children. It would have been more advocating and more helpful towards us, instead of, PowerPoints every presentation and then we're gone. Yeah, so I definitely want to make the Black Student Union a place to be at my school. I want more kids to know about it, because it was just like, it wasn't advocating towards the kids who really needed help. It was more so a BSU for the kids who are already on track. Now, how are you supposed to actually reach students when you're not talking to the kids who need the guidance? You're talking to the kids who actually know somewhere where they want to be. So it's like as if it's making your job easier, but on them, it's as if we're forgetting about them and they don't matter. So that's my goal.
Awesome. That's what I mean. We got to do something different, and we can't be reactionary. We have to be proactive. So I hear BSUs all around. And then let me ask you something. Are you comfortable with your advisors?
I love my advisor. Like, yeah, he's great. Yeah, he's like always very solid and down for us. Yeah, so, and he was like the only Black teacher on campus. And then like he came, he's like, I want to reorganize our BSU and we're going to do it. So like he's been down from the jump, and he's like always putting BSU first. So yeah.
Is that who is that? Jamil? Who's the BSU advisor over there?
His name is Mr. Edwards.
Mr. Edwards. Okay. And he has sorry, I'm reading the comments from this girl. Mr. Edwards. Okay. And Mr. Edwards is down. I love to hear it. Janice, so you don't know who your advisor is?
I don't know who my advisor is, but the person who was in lead of the BSU from what I could see, I don't think they were handling it the way it should have been handled. I don't think it was taken as severe as it could have been taken. I feel like it was more so trying to be friend of us and not really advocate and come through for those who were in need. Honestly, I feel like there's more that could be done. Honestly, I feel like all these schools, we need a whole new ETUSD board, and I feel like we need a whole new staff and set of principals at all these new schools, because these people is not doing their job. I'm not going to say all of them, because we have the select few who are actually there for us. But outside of that, it's just very disappointing and disheartening, because y'all people are not doing your jobs, and something needs to be done about it.
Oh, what advisors? If it wasn't for Avid, I'd be upset. Oh, so I don't know, because I'm not on campuses, so I don't know what advisors. I'm just asking if they have any that they know, and if they're comfortable with them. Because what we've been seeing is that when we go to different schools, sometimes the advisors are not Black. And so they have control over the meetings when they meet, if they meet, what time they're going to meet, how many times they can meet. And it was causing some sort of frustration for our students. So I'm asking you guys, I know you were being sarcastic. Because I know you, Mr. Savino, I know exactly what you're saying. But that's why I'm asking, because that's what we've seen is I just want to make sure that you're trying to establish these clubs. I just want to make sure that you have the support to do just that. It's not enough to have a club. And also, it's a club that has to operate under the guise of what the school thinks is appropriate, what that specific teacher, because it's based on it's subjective. They can discretion. That's the word I was looking for. So if you don't have somebody who knows the purpose of BSU, you end up doing something else, and it becomes a place where that our kids become frustrated in. So that's why I was asking, Melissa. You want to start one? Are you comfortable with your advisor?
I don't think we have a designated advisor, but there is someone who is staff, and I've talked to him about it. He's Black, and I've asked if he would be able to watch over, and he's down for it. So I really like him a lot. I've talked to him a lot over the past year, and so I'm really comfortable with him.
Perfect. Anaya, what about you?
I'm comfortable with mine. I know him, but I just feel as if we need somebody who is going to take a stronger push into it and have the club be really more organized. Because I remember, no shade to anybody or anything, but I remember, I think I was in 9th grade and we wouldn't really talk about being Black and the struggles Black people face. It was a step club, and then it was just us having fun and talking. So they would do step, and then we were going to start a dance thing to do. But I don't vividly remember talking about what we talk about here.
So you would like it to have more substance. Is that what you said?
Yes.
Okay. Janice?
And I have a quick comment, because I'm not going to sit here and not calm about the fact that they have a person set in stone for every other group of student, every other issue, every other problem at these schools. But when it comes to the Black children, they try and throw a Black person in our face and think, oh, that's going to make them be happy. That's going to make them be cool. Oh, that's going to make them comfortable. Excuse me, sir. All skin folk is not kinfolk, because these people do not be here for us. They be here for the check. They be here for us to calm down so they can please the people above them and say, oh, well, we're doing something with the kids. We have something there. No, I'm not satisfied. I'm not settled. I'm uneasy. I don't think it's fair. I don't think it's right. I think EGUSD still has work to do. I still think work needs to be done. And I think there should be a BSU and a BYLP on every campus. But, I'm going to get off my soapbox now. Dee
Dee?
Janice, you're being conditioned to be Miss Lorraine 2.0. I can see it. Look, y'all nodded. You can see it happening. It's in the works already.
I'm not trying to create Lorraine 2.0s. I'm trying to just empower you all to be who you are, and that you realize the power in your voice. It's funny though. That was funny, Lex. Just so you know. Because I think that, what I heard at the board meeting for EGUSD, they said that they've been making proactive steps. There's so many things in place specifically for Black students. They've been in place for a while, and I'm trying to figure out where. And then they said we sent money for every BSU in the district. So y'all that's been in BSUs, did you know there was a influx of money? And when they say money, I'm thinking they're probably thinking $1,000 or so. Are y'all aware of any monies?
Where the money at? Because Anaya, she goes to one school in EGUSD, and I go to another school in EGUSD, and our other co-hosts go to another school in EGUSD, and I don't think we didn't see
both from the two schools that they said ain't interested in college, and I know y'all are honor roll students, so
where the money reside at? Because I ain't seen it.
I'm just trying to figure out where this money is, and all these supports that have been put into place, and they're still number one in the state for disproportionate discipline of Black children. Both things can't be true. Either you have things in place that Black students are benefiting from, or maybe you're just lying, and maybe you stole things from our proposal to present to the board, which we heard a lot of our ideas come out, and they got to present first. But they've had our proposal since April. So it's very interesting to see how people move when they don't think the public knows what they're up to. But you guys need to inquire about that money that was put into place for BSUs. Y'all inquire about it and see where it's at, and what you can do with it. Because I think that clubs on campus are great. I think that safe places on campus are great. But that advocacy that y'all want, it's going to have to come from somebody outside who's not afraid of being fired and who is unbought and unbossed. And that's why they don't want it. Let's tell the truth. Let's tell the truth. Because you can't do both. You can't care about students, see them being done a certain way, and not react responsibly. You can't do it. Either you care and you're going to do something about it. Indeed, I done lost your whole sight because it looks like the sun is washing out your face. But we can't do both. We can't be both inactive and expect things to change. What do y'all think? You think so?
I agree. Like, they expect, ain't nobody here for us, but then they expect us to all be comfortable on campus and to all want to come back to school. Like, make it make sense, please. Like, I'm convinced there's something wrong with these people because it just doesn't make sense to me at all. Like, how do you expect us to be active, be comfortable, but there's nothing there for us? It's as if we want to BSU on our campuses more than they do. So it's just like, how do y'all expect us to be comfortable? How do y'all expect us to be active, to perform in our best potential? I don't think it's that Black students don't want to be college bound. We don't feel comfortable enough to show off the skills that we have. We're not exposed to the depths of the knowledge that we have. Y'all don't teach us like we can do those things. Y'all treat us and diminish us to the point to where it's just like, okay, let me just do what y'all do and get out the classroom. Let me just do what you tell me to do and get out the classroom. Literally, that's the mindset of Black children. So, yeah.
Go ahead. Who is that?
Oh, I think I was gonna go. Well, I just want to like kind of add on to what Denise said. Like, I don't even like. It's not like they're just playing dumb. Like, this is on purpose. Everything that they do is on purpose. They're purposely trying to run you on circles. Like, we're not trying to put organizations, or not organizations. Well, I guess kind of
community organizations.
Yeah.
But
yeah, it's like in the school system to benefit Black students. Like, it's all on purpose. They are for, the whole, there's no systemic racism. Pull yourself up from your bootstraps. You know what I mean? All that BS. You know what I mean? So, yeah, it's not on accident. Like, they're doing it on purpose. They know what they can do to change it. So yeah, that was just what I had to say.
Yeah, and I see Lex was unmuting too. So go ahead, Mama.
Yes, I just want to jump off what Dee said. They know what they're doing, so we need to go into their face and be like, hey, we know what y'all trying to do. But guess what? It's not going to work anymore, okay? So you see this little paper right here? This is what y'all need to change because we're not doing this anymore. We know how you guys run things, and it's not working for us anymore. We need to tell them we know what their expectations are, but those are not our expectations. So if you want us to continue taking part in these activities, your schooling, you need to fix it because it's not working because you don't care about us and you're putting us at the bottom, which is not where we should be. And that's not where you should be, but we know that's where you're putting us. So things need to change and they need to know we know what they're doing. And it's not going to be the same anymore. You guys better get something fixed because we can't do it anymore. We can't afford it.
And I feel like that's what Miss Lorene has been doing for the past few years is she's been going to EGUSD. And that is why it is so significant for us kids out here, especially the ones who watch the podcast, who tune into us to, who are in EGUSD, you can join in the meetings, you can make a public comment, you can talk about your experiences within these school districts. I'm sure you've heard it before, but when I'm telling you our voices matter, they matter because obviously something hasn't changed. The fact that Miss Lorene has been going to almost every meeting and they still haven't done nothing. We make public comments. Our adults, our mentees, our mentors, they make public comments for us. So it's important that us as students get there and talk about it. Talk to our principals, talk to our vice principals. I'm sure the more we talk, the more we press the issue, the more that they will start to acknowledge the issues. So for all our fellow kids watching, our fellow peers, make a public comment, join your school district meetings because they need to hear us.
Facts. 100%. So as we're wrapping up our first season together, congratulations to y'all. We want to be mindful. So we will be returning August 16th. That was the consensus, yes? So we will be back to connect with the folks August 16th. Make sure that you are following us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Lex, I know we've been saying for the last few weeks that Lex was leaving us, but Lex is not going anywhere. She's decided she wants to stay. So we're going to keep her. And we'll be checking in with her on her campus. And where is that? Is this, where is your campus at?
It's all the way in Sonora. It's 2 hours away from here.
Okay. So we'll be checking in with Lex and Sonora, and we'll be hearing about the ladies' first week at school and what we need to get active about in the community to assist them and support them. While we're on here, I just wanted to send a shout out to one of our team members, our extended family who lost a loved one last week. We are supporting the family the best that we can. If you are interested in helping us to support the family as they prepare to lay their loved one to rest, give us a call at the office, 916-513-7959, because we want to make sure we are always present in community and we're showing love and support where it is most needed. So with that, ladies, great job. I look forward to, I know we'll probably be around each other and everybody won't see us, but I look forward to connecting with you again officially as part of the Black versus the Board of Education podcast team when we take over for the, well, I was going to say the 99 and 2000, but that ain't it. So with that, we're going to hit you with that last wave for this season on 1, 2, 3. We will see you August 16th, 4 p.m. on Monday. So make sure y'all are here and in the building. Bye.